Alright, here's my short how-to video on how I did this. It's my first one, so don't knock me too hard. This is putting the emax module inside of the radiomaster pocket right here. Once you get it all decased, get it apart, there's this part right here is what connects to the back of the radio. Right there. And you can see it's only got 3 pins that connect to the module itself, so you only have 3 wires to do. You have voltage, ground, and crossfire, or TX, whichever you want to call it. So power, ground, and data. Once you get it apart and get inside here to the module itself, on the back is where these 3 wires connect. And you can see right there where it says voltage, ground, and crossfire. So that's what I did. I ohmed everything out to make sure I was going to the right spot. And then you can see on the board right here, not very well, but it says crossfire, ground, battery, whatever. So battery to VCC, ground to ground, crossfire to crossfire for your data. I added a switch right here so I wouldn't accidentally turn on the module without an antenna on it. But in hindsight, that was really unnecessary because the radiomaster does not turn on that module unless you're on a model that is expecting to use that module. When I switch to a model that is just using the internal 2.4, this thing has no power, it shuts down. So just make sure if you're powering on your radio and your last model uses this module, make sure you have your antenna on it so you don't overheat anything. But once you get those 3 wires soldered up and drill a little hole right there for the antenna to come through, what I did was I covered this in 3M foam tape and also electrical tape so that this does not short out against that. And then I put some 3M foam tape over these wires right here just to kind of help hold things in place. And then this thing flips over and it slides in here just like a glove. That thing fits right in that hole, fits right above that thing just perfectly, just like it should. Like it was meant to be there the whole time. After I did that, this is 2mm hardware holes. I took a drill bit, came down from the top through. That way I could mount this where it wasn't going to wiggle around on me. And I ran some 2mm hardware through. I did it with the nuts going inside because the nuts fit absolutely like a glove inside of this module right here on that heat sink. You can see when you drop a 2mm nut, which is 4mm on the outside down on there, it holds that nut absolutely perfectly, just like that. So I held it down, ran a screw in there. You ain't got to bite much of it. You just need a maybe 1 thread or so. You do have to be careful that these bolts do not stick through too far or they will contact the fan. You can see this one here was a little long and I had to grind it down with a Dremel a little bit because I could hear my fan rubbing on it. And the last thing you need is this thing overheating on you when it cranks up to 2 watts. Don't crank them down too hard. All you need it to do is just not move around. And then I take a little Loctite and dribble it on there to make sure they won't come loose, but it's not like this gets a lot of vibration anyway. Make sure you insulate in between there. You don't want this shorting out against the pins and causing a problem. Once you get all that on, I took the fan, I stuck some more foam 3M tape right here to take up any gap that I would have. And that works out perfectly because that tape right there ends up touching right here where it says Radiomaster ELRS. And everything fits in there perfectly tight. When I take this apart, that actually sticks to that a little bit. But that makes sure that fan sits right there so you've still got cooling. And when you get all this together, turn your fan on at like 10 watts so you can hear it kick on and make sure that it's not rubbing those screws right there. Obviously, if your fan ain't working and you kill your module mid-flight, you're going to be sitting there watching your plane do whatever failsafe you've told it to do, which very well may just be circling above your head until the battery's dead. This isn't something you want to mess up. Once you get the module in, the 3 wires all soldered up, fan on there, let's put it all back together. And look at that. No smashing, anything. It fits perfect. Absolutely perfect. It's not warped in the slightest. Obviously, I wasn't too worried about damaging a case since these cases are, I think, 15 bucks or something to replace. Not a big deal. And don't over torque these screws. It's just plastic. It's not like it's obviously it's, you can strip it. Slide all that aside, and we got a module inside. I like these Moxon antennas. I do put this on every time I'm powering up the radio, even if I'm going to use 2.4, just to make sure I'm on the right model. Because if I'm on the model that's using the external module, it's going to turn on.
Throttle warning, switch warning.
It's going to turn on the outside module first before you have a chance to change to a model that does have it. But you can see right now it's powered off. I'll go over to my DRAC.
Switch warning.
And boom, it powers on. You can see it glowing inside there. Actually looks kind of cool. Make sure you go into your settings. And find your fan threshold. Crank it all the way down to 10 so that it's running, and make sure you can hear the fan running, and make sure that you can't hear it rubbing any of those screws in there, which perfect, just like it should be. I usually put my fan at 250 because I think that's what the devs recommend for active cooling. And that's it. There we go. Fits like a glove. I think I've done 6 or 7 flights on this so far, and it's working perfect. I'm really happy. That's all I got. Thank you.